Well, hey everybody. How you doing? I hope you had a great Memorial Day weekend. I had a pretty good weekend, I gotta say. Awesome weather. Um, a free chiropractic adjustment. Um, some good quality time with the dog. Uh, a lot of alone time. Um, and I got a couple of responses from the shit talk last night that I want to address. Um, Supernaut told me to leave the dog alone. Said, "You masher." I had to explain. Um, I'm saving this dog's life. Um, Better make sure I got audio. You got anyone? I got someone here. Can you give me a thumbs up if I got audio? Ba, ba, ba. So, yeah, I'm trying to save this dog's life. All right, I got audio. Beautiful. Um, some dogs they get put down. Um, Hi, Josh. Hi, Joe. Welcome and thank you. Um, some dogs end up getting put down because they're too dangerous, and we don't want the kids getting bit. People are afraid of litigation from the slave system. If your dog bites the mailman or bites your neighbor, you're going to sue you for your house and income for the rest of your life and your next born child and all that kind of crap. So, um, dogs can be very aggressive, can be very dominant, can be extremely dangerous. And in a peaceful society, we don't want that. Now, this dog was just a puppy when I was asked if I would watch her. And that was over a year ago. And that dog exhibited aggressive behaviors right from the get. And and the dog has been a problem dog for me. And quite frankly, I almost feel like I'm a little too old for going through this bullshit, but I'm not, because I'm doing it. Obviously, I'm doing it. And as painful as it is, I think it's all coming out really good. And I'm going to talk about a couple of those very painful experiences here. Um, so the dog is very happy today. Well, the dog was very happy after the fight. I tap my leg, a dog would come right to my leg and sit and tails wagging. All right, no hard feelings. This is just nature. This is just the way things work. And I intentionally won that fight with the intention of not hurting the dog. And I'm trying to be careful not to hurt myself. Well, holy cow. I really hurt myself, but it appears to be a very corrective type of pain, and for an issue that I've been trying to straighten out for a long time. I've been wishing that I could see a chiropractor for a long time. I've chiropractor was a regular part of my life back in the day, and so now this all relates back to those toxic teeth and the effects that it had on my body. And so over 30 chronic conditions have completely vanished or are gone. And One of those problems was the muscles in my neck and my shoulder and down the back. They would just lock up, and and I, my wife was great for giving me therapy, massage therapy. Um, I mean, she was such a trooper, and she'd say that my neck. She said this felt like rebar, and the muscles in my back felt like concrete. And so over the years, I have shrunk, and I'm convinced that part of that shrinking, besides the deterioration of the joints, was those decades of those muscles just being tight, 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 drawing my spine down. And so I've gained 3/4 of an inch in height in my healing process. I'm not back to my full 5'10.5". I'm 5'9.25" up from 5'8.5". So I'm pretty darn happy about that. And right now, this shoulder, I'm not holding it up. I'm not doing this, and it's setting pretty darn good. And so when this whole rib cage right here, this whole area seemed to snap, crackle, pop, and at the time it was pain free. It was just like a chiropractic adjustment, all the snap, crackle, pops, and I was like, good, right? But it wasn't much long after that, and I felt like I had separated my ribs. Um, I've had separated ribs before. That's extremely painful. I've never had broken ribs, and I certainly don't want them. So, I was really quite miserable. And today has been a miserable day too. But the the pain in this area has changed dramatically, and so it's much better. But the thing is that this whole area being all locked up like that really affected the entire body, and so a lot of pain in this hip today, a lot of pain, and as this pain is easing up, pain really creeping in down here. So uh, this is all good stuff in my opinion. Um, it's part of my healing process, and um, there's things I'm going to talk about here soon with regards to health and healing and infections and fungal infections, and how those fungal infections get into scar tissue, how they get into joints, how they get into the bone and into the brain, and how it will screw you up, and how painful it is um, recovering from a massive fungal infection. It's extremely painful. Um, so so are dog bites. And you ever been bit by a dog? I've been bit by a dog a couple times. Um, I was bit here just recently, and the last time I was bit um, was I stopped over to see my landlord, and when I come in the door, I could see everybody takes their shoes off. So I bend down to untie my laces to take my shoes off, and his pit bull that's about 6, 8 feet away from me, not growling, not showing any aggressive behavior, just launched and caught me right here and drew blood. And the reason why, his dog bone was apparently within reach. Maybe I'd have to take a step. I didn't even see the dog bone. I wasn't paying any attention to the dog bone. But just that action of me bending down in the direction of that dog bone, that dog being defensive to his property and his territory, and rightfully so, as you should be. But the dog didn't have to. The dog could have growled, could have given notice, but the dog didn't. So that kind of a dog is extremely, extremely dangerous. And I had to put my boys down after what they did to me, and I couldn't take care of them. I had to put them down. I had to take them to the vet and have them put down. Man, that hurts. They were good boys. They were dangerous the way they should be. But when they were with me, there was no danger to me or anyone else unless they got the command. But if I wasn't around, there was nobody going to control those dogs. And to lock those dogs up in a cage, put them in a dog kennel, take them to the dog pound, no. That ain't no life for a dog like that. It really broke my heart. And I still have feelings about it that are feelings I have to deal with. And the dog bites hurt. Now, I want to say it was in the 90s. It was in the 90s, and my Great Dane had been a bad dog. And she went under my daughter's bed. And I wanted her to come out. She didn't want to come out. So I reach in under the bed and I'm going to drag this dog out. Dog says, no way. I ain't coming out. Take that. And sunk those canine teeth into my hand. Oh, man. And the worst of it was a canine tooth right into the palm of my hand deep. And when it came out, it just shredded the skin. It laid open this way, and that way. 3 flappers. Now, what am I going to do? Am I going to go to the doctor? And then the doctor's going to be asking all these damn questions. And then the policy bastards are going to come and ask me questions, and then they're going to want to take that dog. That dog was an awesome dog, an awesome family pet, a Great Dane, a purebred Great Dane. None of the kids were ever bit by that dog. Nobody was ever bit by that dog. But I had 2 of these. That's a suture needle. Suture needle and thread. So I'm sure you all seen Rambo stitching it up, right? Stitching his arm up. You think, man, that's a man there, right? Damn straight. Now, I've been prior to that dog bite, I've been stitched up a lot. A lot. Um, and thankfully by some very good doctors. Um, a couple of them that I would not have dared attempted to stitch myself. So I was, I think I was, wow, it was before I was married. It was before Carson County. If it was right out of high school, I was probably 18. And a guy come at me with a box cutter and caught me right here. I got a scar, runs from here to here, and it was that deep. I think just laid open like this. It took 40 stitches inside, 40 stitches outside, and I got full use of that thumb. And I'm double jointed, always have been, and I didn't lose that double joint. Amazing doctor. Um, Another one was this finger. I was working pretty much 24 hours a day doing a remodel, and I was running wood through the jointer. You got to have your hands on top of the wood when you're going through the jointer. Well, this finger wasn't on the wood. And it went right into the blade. And man, it just laid that thing open like this and right down to the bone. And it was a Vietnam vet doctor that put this finger back together. I didn't lose it. It works. And protocol is for damage like that, they'll take it. They'll just take the finger, that top knuckle. I've seen a lot of guys missing part of a finger. Too many guys missing part of a finger. Those I would no way would I attempt to stitch those up myself unless there was absolutely no choice. Right? I mean, absolutely no choice. Like you're alone, there is nobody to go to. It's you or nobody. Okay. In that situation, you got to do what you got to do. So I had two of these. I still got one. I hope I don't ever have to use it. But I used it, and it was my right hand that got it. I'm right handed. I had to do the damn stitching left handed, folks. And I did such a good job, there's no scar. There's absolutely no scar there. I didn't bring my glasses over. I don't need them. I have a inversion table. Yeah, that's good. Some here. Oh, I'm having trouble. The lighting. If the lighting was better, I could read that without my glasses. I didn't. I'm gonna go grab my glasses. Let's see. How far do I gotta go? Not too far. Not too far. Here's a set. Oh, I think I had a set right behind me too. Maybe. I did. Look at that. There was a set right up here. I forgot about those. So Moonbag says same here. Haha. Sheet metal installer, HVAC. Oh yeah, you sheet metal. You guys will get cut all the time, won't you? Well, not all the time, but you're working with stuff that'll cut you real easy. So people are running to the doctor all the time for stuff that you really don't need to run to the doctor for. If you just took care of yourself, if you ate better food and you exercise properly, you could avoid most all them doctor trips. Um, I don't have a doctor. I don't take no prescriptions. Um, I had a doctor in 2019 because when I came back from Jamaica, um, after the international government gang stalking destroyed that whole venture, I come back home with less than $100 in my pocket, and I took assistance, and of course they require you to get a physical. And back then, 2019, I was a pure slave, a pure slave. I had no idea about my rights and how to own my authority or anything like that. So, um, and I told the doctor what my some of my worst complaints were, and of course I didn't go into all of it because that would have taken a lot of time, and it just didn't matter to me. So, told me I needed knee replacement surgery in both my knees. I needed hip replacement surgery, and I needed surgery on my back. Well, I've rebuilt my knees. The hip's getting better. Um, I, uh, I don't go to the doctor. I don't want to go to the doctor. I don't. Um, and if I get a broken bone, if I have a stroke or a heart attack or something like this, well, probably that's a good time to see a doctor. Or depending if it's a stroke or a heart attack, maybe it's just time to go on home, right? Who knows? Um, Joe Moore, doctors have a medical practice, so please be patient. Oh, a little humor. I love that. Um, so at any rate, folks, don't concern about the dog. As far because as I explained, my whole intention is not to hurt that dog. And and apparently that dog did me a favor because this shoulder is definitely about where it should be naturally without me holding it up. So I'm hoping that's going to give me a lot of relief from head to toe, from the neck all the way down to my feet. Um, this winter, well, yeah, this winter, because early in the winter, uh, the dog had dug a hole at the porch, and the porch is four rises, right? You're going to take there's three treads and then the porch, so there's four rises, and I had a load, probably 40 or 50 pounds, and it's icy and slippery, and I just going to set that on the porch and then walk up the stairs and then pick up the pieces and bring them in one at a time. Well, as I approach the porch and I'm leaning forward to set this load down, I stepped right into that hole that the dog had dug. And my foot just did this. Whoosh. And I don't know what if I hyperextended my knee or what I did, but whatever it was extremely painful, and that knee ballooned up. Well, it's been a problem knee for me for a long time, and don't forget, the doctor's telling me I need knee replacement surgery. Well, you see, now that was one of the chronic conditions from my toxic teeth. My left knee was bigger than my right knee for decades. And when I sat down, that leg had to be out. Couldn't have my knee bent. It just way too uncomfortable. That knee was too swollen. And so that leg was always straight out for a couple of decades. And after I got my toxic teeth out, well, the swelling started going down and down and down. And then the knee got closer to the other one in size and shape, but it wasn't right. And the kneecap was not in the right spot. Well, after I had that slip mishap in the hole that the dog dug because it had snowed, I didn't see it, and it happened. Well, this knee has never been better. The kneecap is much closer to where it should be. So it would appear that this dog is sent from up above to benefit both of us, because she needs somebody like me, and obviously I've benefited from having a dog, right? So sometimes painful experiences turn out to be good experiences, and in the end. So I'll catch up on the comments here. Four rises, three treads. That's right. ABPTTHM. I don't know what that is. Joe Moore. So what else might I want to talk about, since talking about shit? I'm never scripted. Oh, holding court. It was suggested to me that I do a talk on how to hold court. Now, this suggestion came from a very intelligent lady, very intelligent, a great patriot. And I said, well, I've read my cases. I've done a lot of talks. She said, yeah, but it's been a long time. And I thought, okay. And then I got a comment here on a from one of my talks, and the guy says, where can I get the notice of liability? And you don't offer much. You just go on and on and on and on. How do you hold court? So that's a little bit snarky, but he wants to know where to get the notice of liability, so that's awesome. He wants to know how to hold court. You're going to have to go watch one of the other videos, or go to the services page and look at Camp Grayling Gretchen, or Gretchen Camp Grayling, whatever the title is. There's two files there. It's actually one file, but it was too big to scan in. It's a good inch, if not an inch and a half of paper when you print it all off. But that's what I served on 3 garrison commanders at Camp Grayling as the executive emergency manager for Michigan. And I ordered them to readiness and to report for duty. I had no idea we were in continuity of government at that time. That was back in 2021. So I don't know if we got traitors over there, or we got white hats over there, but 3 garrison commanders in my court pled guilty to treason. In 2021, I went to the Kalkaska County Sheriff as prosecutor, and my intention was that Kalkaska County would be the first county in America to be a constitutional county again. That didn't happen. Then in the late fall, early winter, uh, with the assistance of Rob Emerson and Tim Dever, the People's Bureau of Investigation, I tried again. Um, and Sheriff Darleaf and his deputy Jason Sixberry decided that they would just plead guilty to treason in my court. Um, so we have to abrogate the bar. We got to get rid of these British agents. They got to go. People keep wanting to talk about statutes, acts, codes. It's all bullshit. It's all fraud. It has no jurisdiction. It has no standing. It's like giving credence to the power of the Roman Empire here today. That's like giving credence to the Vikings, to their power, their authority right here today. No, bullshit. It don't belong here. It has no standing. It has no jurisdiction. What these British agents have done is they have perpetrated such a fraud, such constructive fraud, and we have been so manipulated and mind controlled and dumbed down and poisoned and fear based that as a society we are, as a people, oh, I'm a little weak. This pot's full. Caught me by surprise. Oh, I'm lucky that I didn't crash it. I just skinned the granite countertop. I'm still surviving with my toxic water. Must be the coffee that's keeping me alive. Either that or the tobacco. Somebody give me a question. Any question. I will answer. I will attempt to answer any question, as long as it's within reason. Who knows who Juan O'Savin is? I don't know. But this guy must be somebody, just because of his presence. I don't think he has a channel. But he's a guest on a lot of channels. He doesn't seem to select a niche with the influencers. He'll go on with the fear mongers. He'll go on with the law and order guys. He'll go on with the, doesn't matter. And he's Mr. Metaphor. But he's apparently got a lot of experience, knowledge, the ability to do critical thinking, and somehow in the know. So maybe he was selected by the military. Maybe he was. He's telling us here recently that we, the people, are the storm. Well, we should be. But apparently the time is not right. Because apparently, under continuity of government, the military has control of all media. Derek says that the military is keeping the algorithms up on his videos. And from my entrance into this with YouTube, I had a slow crawl, but it was a steady crawl until I got to some point with the environmental court and the prepaid first class mail and everything else that I brought forward, how to put your vehicle into private, how to how to capture your passport, how to stand on a notice of liability, how to own it, how to hold court. Flatline, and even some dropping off. Drop off on subscribers, drop off on views on my videos. And that video with the Constitutional Crusaders, right off the get. He put it out as a premiere. So I was there. I was in the live comments, and the comments were awesome. 1,600 views. And days later, 1,700. Days later, 1,800. Weeks later, it's still at 1,800. Why? Or the storm? Why is my information so suppressed? Why? Because it's that damn powerful. These tyrants love peaceful slaves. And apparently we've got a very well-oiled machine that's got everything under control, that doesn't need the chaos of we the people being the storm. Otherwise, my videos would be getting a lot of exposure, and there wouldn't be enough tar and feathers available to be dealing with these parasites, now would there? Because we'd be taken to the streets. But it ain't happening. And I'm still one of the most feared men on this planet. I haven't had a conversation with anybody in over 4 days. I sent a couple of text messages. I got a couple of replies back. There's been a couple of posts on my channel. And, I mean, I don't mind. I'm a guy. I've always been a loner. I've always been a lone wolf. I don't need other people to, for me to be happy living my life, doing my job. I enjoy people. I love people. I can be a social, but I very much tend to be a loner. What else do we got here? See if we get a question. Could it be that the average man or woman has the attention span of a goldfish? Attention span is a big problem. Yeah, it is. Attention span is a huge problem, but it seems to be selective as I'm thinking about it. Example: put a kid in front of a video game, then send him to school. Well, at school, a teacher's going to say, "Oh, he's got ADD, ADHD. He's a problem child. Blah 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 blah. He can't concentrate." He comes home, you put that video game in front of him, and what's he doing? He just focused, concentrating, new high score. This shortened attention span to me is something that we as a society are suffering with, is because at school they couldn't keep my attention. Oh no, not at all. I mean, I was always daydreaming, drifting off, imagining, inventing, envisioning. class was boring and stupid. And so I didn't do well in school. If it wasn't for trades, I wouldn't have graduated high school. I would have failed. Um, we had a lot of trades, and so that worked out for me. Now my brother, my little brother, poor guy, had the lazy eye, had the Coke bottle glasses, and nappy hair, and a small frame, and just genius. He never saw fifth grade. He went from fourth grade to sixth grade. Straight A's, 4.0, taking advanced classes. I think he started drinking at 13, doing drugs and drinking at 14, 15. Went through high school, stoned out of his mind on acid, mescaline, THC, mushrooms, smoking marijuana, drinking, taking these advanced classes a year ahead of everybody else because he skipped fifth grade. Straight A's. He's telling me about his day in class. He said, man, I'm sitting there. I just watched the wall melt and the clock just telling me this stuff. And he's getting straight A's. So this whole attention span stuff is something that we should give some good thought to. Because I think if we make life interesting for the young people, when they're developing these skills, when they're developing an attention span, when they're developing the ability to have critical thought, when they're developing the ability to have feelings, to know morality, to learn right from wrong, that's the time. And if we made life really interesting for them at that point, and that they would have that attention span on anything that gets their attention, anything. And this is what schools should be too. No, they just want a cookie cutter. We're individuals. We're not cookie cutters. Somebody's just a natural accountant, just good with numbers. Somebody else is a great technician. Somebody else is a great carpenter. Somebody else inspires to just be flying airplanes. Oh no, cookie cutter. Shut up, pay attention. What about imagination hour for the kids? Huh? What about imagination hour? Let the kids just imagine. And depending on their age, if they have the ability to make notes or draw a picture or write something down, encourage them to do that. And then go around the classroom and give everybody a chance. Some of them are going to be too shy. Some are going to be scared, right? Well, then the other ones can go first. Don't force that shy one to go first. Let the ones that they're not shy. Let them go first. Let them lead by example. And then that one that's shy, that one that just like, I'm scared. Well, now everybody's done it. Maybe everybody except that one or that group, 4, 5, 6, right? Well, then the next session might be about courage and overcoming fear. And then maybe there's a movie or a video that's watched and some discussion that happens. And then if you can't get those those kids that were too afraid to tell you what their dreams were, what their visions were, what their thoughts were, to get up and stand up and own their authority and be proud of who they are. This is the kind of things that we need to be doing. We're graduating morons, idiots. They can't make change for $1. They can't read or write. They have no critical thinking. Nothing interests them. They think that their parents are responsible for global warming and all the toxification and poison. They hate their parents. They don't want to take, they got no respect for anybody. Not everybody, all right, but there's a mass of that. And it's maddening. Joe says a good teacher is able to captivate others' interest and involvement. And that's what we need to do. And going through school, it's like at some point you got to bring the trades back. You got to bring the skills back. And recognize the different talents. And school should just be about to teach you to learn. Because life is about learning. And I feel like I've done more learning in the last 2.5 years than I have in my entire life. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, but it feels like it. I didn't do well with reading and writing. I don't like reading and writing. I've learned more about reading and writing with spell check on the computer than I ever did in school. Why? Because I had the need to read and write. I had the need. So I had to learn it. I had the need to suture myself up. I did it. When you don't have the tools, you're lost. When you don't have the knowledge, you're lost. When you don't have guidance, you're lost. And it's our responsibility to provide all this to all the new breathers, to all the new heartbeats. Oh, back to the glasses. Yeah, right, Joe. Teaching others how to think rather than what to think. Absolutely. That's very that is so important. It was said to me once, believe almost nothing that you hear and half of what you see. And when I first heard that, I'm like, well, what the hell are they saying? Well, for those of us that are awake, well, we can see pretty much most everything we've been taught is a lie. Most of the things we've been shown have been twisted and manipulated. But a real good example of this is from my experience in China with manufacturing. I've got had a Chinese, how do I want to describe this, associate who had a lot of reach all over China, had a lot of friends. At that time, China was setting up manufacturing all over China, and you'd get people are ambitious and they're hungry and they want the job. So you're going to go visit their factory. You're going to go do a tour of the factory. And so you walk in, you see the assembly line, you see the bins and all the parts, you see the workers, you see the assembly line rolling, you see them assembling, you see them packaging, putting it on the pallet. You go into the office, you meet the boss, you look around the office. It's all a scam. They didn't show you the injection molding machines. They didn't show me. They didn't show me the injection molding machines. They didn't show me the wire, the motor building, the winding. They didn't show me the cords and cables being made. They didn't show me the die casting. That didn't show me any of the manufacturing processes. Why? Because they didn't have any. What they did was they went to their friend who's making a product that is close enough to what I'm looking to have produced, and they want to show me their capabilities of how they can produce and build and package this product, right? All they did was go to their friend, load up a truck, unbox everything, disassemble everything, put all the parts in bins, call up their buddies and get a bunch of them to come over and sit there at the assembly line, turn the assembly line on, and they're putting the damn things back together. They're not building the damn thing. But my eyes are saying, oh, okay, yeah, here we got to operate. There was no operation there. So a lot of things is, there's a lot of trickery out there. Joe says, I believe nothing I hear and half of what I see. Systematic delusion are often quite deceiving. Yeah, so that's the world we live in. We live in a very, very, very deceiving world. And in my opinion, the last thing you need if you got a problem is a bar attorney. What we need is law and order. We need courts. And so I am going to come back. I think I'm going to read the case I put on the top guy for the MBA, Michigan Bar Association. And if I remember correctly, his name is Rob Buchanan. He's been in my court. No, actually not. I facilitated the case and it went to the Kalkaska County Sheriff's Office. The jail sergeant at first said no. At the end, the jail sergeant went like this, and he took everything. Kalkaska County Sheriff's Department did not serve that man. So he hasn't seen the case. But I believe I'm going to read it again. I read it once. I'm going to come back. I'm going to read it again. I'm going to explain to you how you hold court. At least how I hold court. How I own my authority. And the thing is, in a court of law, these parasites are lost. These bar attorneys, they've never been in a court of law. No, they're in a morgue. They're in a bank. They're in an enslavement camp. They deal with the dead. Let's see. Who do we got here? Hey, Keith. Attorney, no authority. See Texas Rules of Procedure Rule 12. Must be hired by board of directors for each case. Cannot be a blanket hiring for all cases. See Texas rules. Well, I give no credence to the bar. I don't recognize their jurisdiction or their authority. Codes, acts, statutes, codes, acts, rules, regulations, ordinances. I don't recognize them. Neither should you. Because it's all in a fraud. I think I'm gonna have to turn the overhead light on here if I keep going. I guess it'd be a little glare. There you go. Um, so the bar needs to be abrogated. Now, in a recent talk, Juan talking about the courts, I've heard him say recently twice something about we still have to have contract law. Well, I agree. We need contract law. But what is going to be a lawful process of contract law? First of all, you got to get rid of assumption, presumption proceedings in buildings with a title court, with a black robe wearing man as a judge. Where's your jury? Your 12 judges. I think a judge should be there for fairness, order of the court, not for decisions. And we're moving into the quantum. So Derek could tell you about quantum.gov, quantum. Juan is talking about quantum. But some of these guys aren't tying things together. Some of these influencers, they're giving you pieces. And they're not giving you all the pieces. And they probably don't have all the pieces. But I have the distinct impression that they're not giving you pieces that they have. And so let's see. Joe says, Corpus Juris Sectum, Volume 7, Section 4 of the attorney's first obligation is to the court. Okay. I talked about this. I put out a video. Is there an unspoken rule of the bar? And I don't know. I can't say because I'm not a bar member. However, my research indicates that their oath to get that bar card, their first priority is to the bar. Their number 2 priority is to the law. And they're not talking about law. They're talking about color of law. They're talking about legalese. They're talking about statutes, acts, codes, rules, regulations, and ordinances. That's their second priority. Their third priority is themselves. And the lowest priority is their client. You don't need no damn bar attorney. You don't need no British agent. You don't need to be in no slave camp. These sheriffs have got, these constitutional sheriffs got their bailiffs in these administrative proceedings. There isn't a constitutional sheriff. Sheriff Mack, you got a lot to answer for, bro. You got a lot to answer for. So, El Piro says that's why it's attorneys, no authority, all probate administration of estates. Trust matters wherein the contracts are being breached, and that is executor deson tort. Casual Mining gives a thumb up. Joe says Uniform Commercial Code, Article 1, Section Title 10 of Nobility. So, yeah, we're supposed to have no titles of nobility in our government. We certainly shouldn't have British agents in our government. Um, and how are we going to fix this, folks? There's so much energy out there. Look at what happened with Anna von Ritz. I think a lot of people made a big mistake, but I'm talking about energy. People who want to be free, people who want their liberty. What about David Straight? What about Chris Hauser? What about all the assemblies? What about oh, what's her name? The blonde girl. Oh goodness, she's got something. She you got all this bonds for the win. Truckers driving to a foreign land to drive around in circles and honk their horn. There's energy, real energy. People are frustrated, they're fed up, and they don't know what to do. It's because we're not organized. Oh, and I mentioned this. It's worth mentioning again because of what I'm saying right here. I responded to an influencer's YouTube in the comments. It was a right to travel video. I believe it was a one that was a successful right to travel video, and I put a comment in there about too bad we don't organize or can't organize, and I got a snarker back. Said we did, our side did, your side lost. Well, snarker, the game ain't over, bro. The game ain't over. We haven't come to the last inning. And we'll see how this turns out. Casual Mining says, like you said, they give pieces of the puzzle that frustrated energy rushes to act without all the info and they get caught up. Yeah, a lot of people are in jail or in prison. A good example, and nobody's talking about it, is Tim Dever, the guy who put together the People's Bureau of Investigation. The FBI got him. And he's been in custody since December. They have no jurisdiction. They have no standing. But see, it's war. And Tim, in my opinion, he fell on the sword. And I think about him a lot. And the people that he championed for on their Telegram channels, I've never seen anything, not one word. And so this is extremely disappointing to see someone with such bravery and courage who day in, day out, year in, year out is fighting for us. And there he sits rotting away. And who's talking about it? Now, I think I got the timing right. I think first they arrested Tim, and then they arrested Tom. Now, Tom was the one who had the intellectual property on the water, on how to remove all contaminants at the source to turn that into clean, healthy, pure, potable water. But the government and the EPA destroyed that man, destroyed his business, and he fought for decades. And he learned and he learned and he learned. And by the time I met Tom, he was a very crotchety, very hard man. And his health wasn't good. And he kept fighting. Well, shortly after they arrested Tim, they went and arrested Tom. They might have arrested Tom first, but I don't think so. I think they arrested Tom after Tim. And as I hear it, Tom was in the hospital. And the doctors were giving him about a year to live. Shortly after the FBI arrested him, removed him from the hospital, he died. So how come no one's talking about this? Here's a man who, like me, stumbled across something awesome. Working on this, discover that. And what does government do? What does big business do? Boom, 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 boom. They just keep coming. And the gang stalking is not fun. And it's for real. It's not a joke. I'm not sure what else to talk about right now. Let me see. Joe, what are the alleged charges? You're talking about charges on Tim? All right, so this is at least third-hand information, if not fourth-hand information. I can't say with certainty. You see, I got to give a little explanation to answer that question. The environmental court was offering a award to process servers who facilitated service on a man, and when that service facilitated into booking, in other words, a citizen arrest or a marshal's arrest or somebody doing a body attachment, getting that individual and getting a booking sheet or booking ticket from the policy department, right? There would be a $2,000 award. Now, that was procedure of the environmental court. That had nothing to do with the People's Bureau of Investigation. Now, because the People's Bureau of Investigation got involved with the environmental court and had the environmental court documents available on the PBI website. This is where I guess this is where the charges come in. And it's something to do with the money, the offer of money, and the internet, and whatever they've convoluted. So I mean it's absolutely ludicrous And I'm told, you see, I'm told they've been torturing him, mentally torturing him. And of course, he can't get representation, right? Because they're all British agents. And if any one of those British agents ever decided they wanted to do the right thing, they won't, because they'll be sanctioned, they'll be disbarred, their lives will be destroyed. So there is no justice in our justice system, or what we perceive to be our justice system. It doesn't exist. So apparently, there's this kind of treatment that's going on, and now most charges end in a plea. I don't know what the statistics are, but I think it's well over 80%. It might be in the 90% of charges that never go to trial. People take a plea. Well, I don't know why, but I hear Tim's taking a plea. And part of the plea is there, as I hear it in the paperwork, he's saying he cannot come back on them for constitutional rights violations. And I said, well, hey, fuck it, so what? We can go after them for violating his rights. He don't have to do it. We can do it, right? So, but the thing is, the poor man is rotting away in there. He's being tortured. He's not going to get a trial by jury. He's not going to get a trial by jury. He's not going to get a jury trial because he took a plea. He's going to go in for sentencing. It's fucked up, people. It's really, really fucked up. And you see, that this is what happens. I've talked about this. We have people that have success. I mean, Tim had a lot of successes. I'll say he stood and stood and stood and stood time and time again. Wasn't put in torture cuffs, wasn't kidnapped, wasn't imprisoned. But now he's rotting away in some sheriff's department, I believe. And I have him in my thoughts, and I pray for him, and I send good vibe and good energy. So that's the best I can tell you. But with regards to the water, I have reported that across the pond in a university, some researchers discovered a way to remove forever chemicals from the water. And then, of course, we've got primary water, but that's 800 feet down. And that should be good water, that because it's created by steam. And so it's picking up the minerals. And so this is purified water. It's created by steam, boiling. It's clean, pure. Primary water. How come we don't have it? Oh, it's much better that you have municipal water with all those total dissolved sewage solids. Get yourself an electrolyzer and a total dissolved solids analyzer and analyze your water, you will be absolutely disgusted. I don't understand why we can't organize a right to travel, right to carry caravan of 50 vehicles and 100 men with the attitude, give me liberty or give me death. And we paint up the vehicles. We get our Title IV flags. We contact the sheriff's department of the county that we're going into. And we let them know we're here to exercise our rights and we're here to wake the people up. And if you feel that you need to come and trespass upon us, we're willing to die to exercise our rights and defend ourselves. Are you willing to die to trespass upon our rights? And I guarantee you, them sons of bitches will back the fuck down. And then we'll roll on to the next county and the next county. And if we do this with the cameras rolling, this shit should go viral. And within 1 to 2 weeks, that caravan should make the Trump train look like a little kid's Tonka toy setup. And we've got right to travel, right to carry caravans all across this country. We are celebrating. We are buying up tar and feathers, and we're holding court. Why the hell can't we do that, people? I'm going to leave you with that. Oh my goodness. Not quite an hour and a half, but well over an hour. I'm going to leave you with that, folks. Think about that. Why can't we do that? It's very, very simple. It's nonviolent, and it'll set you free, make you happy. I'm going to be a happy pappy. I mean, I am a happy pappy, but I'm going to be a real happy pappy. That day's coming. Much love, everybody. I'll be back. Happy Memorial Day weekend.